welcome back to another Just 5 Mins. Another one you grown. Yes, another one. Whether you like it or not, you can switch off. You do know that. Okay, just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, so what have we got today? We have MCP. If anybody is as old as I am or older or whatever, I don't know. Every time I heard this, I'm thinking of the, what do they call it? The Master Control program from the original Tron movie. By the way, the original Tron movie was, what was it, 1982? I think it was. So there was an MCP, basically, and that was the Master Control program. You know, the sort of baddie in that sort of film. But we're talking about MCP as Model Context Protocol. There's been a lot of buzz about over the internet, of course, so why not ride that wave? Oh, yes. Yeah. Don't do any deep research yourself, David. Just copy what everybody else is doing. Anyway, Model Context Protocol. It's basically an open standard designed to connect AI models with external tools. Dangerous? Maybe, maybe not. Data sources and services. So think of it like, I suppose the example that I was looking at was like a USB-C. You know, USB-C's become sort of at the moment anyway, even Apple, I think, had to do that for the European market. USB-C fits pretty much everything these days. So it's that type of it's a standard, really. It's an open standard, and so it's a universal interface that simplifies how AI systems interact with various resources. So again, it comes down to there's something called like MCP servers. Okay, now when you say server, it's not like Windows Server or Linux Server. It's lightweight programs exposing specific capabilities like accessing local file systems, databases, APIs, that type of stuff. Okay, again, dangerous, maybe, but you can. It's like the genie's out of the bottle, isn't it? And you can see. I was playing with Manus. Make sure you pronounce the M. But anyway, it's like another Chinese one. I don't know if it's from DeepSeek people, but it's one that it's essentially doing all of its own stuff. It's searching the web, it's searching, all the rest of it. And yeah, it makes a lot of people get rather worried, but you can do and use MCP stuff just locally that you have control of. And there's the underlying problem, isn't it, really? If you don't quite know how this stuff works, people sort of blatantly just go about, adding it's like just opening up your internet to everyone, from your home or something. So you do have to be, but getting past that, it's got some great options. So an MCP server is a lightweight or a set of lightweight programs exposing specific capabilities, like I said, accessing local files, APIs, databases, and there's a lot more. I'll put some links because there's obviously it's almost like I know ages ago when OpenAI had GPTs, you could have your own GPTs, your own little agents, but they weren't called agents, and that wasn't that long ago. But it's almost like the MCP type stuff that you get because it's an open standard. It's becoming like it really is like the AI equivalent of an app store. So there's a lot of these things. I'll link to some URLs that have all got like these MCP servers. So there's everything from, like I said, file systems to GitHub repositories to GitLab, PostgreSQL, Google Drive, SQLite, Slack. There's loads of stuff, Google Maps, YouTube. So all these things are, when you talk about MCP servers, like the YouTube one, is it's using that open model context protocol to build like a lightweight program, really, to go and search and look at stuff in YouTube. But it's allowing that's the key bit. It's allowing these AI models to do that. So it's a bit like Claude and a few other these things where they're opening a browser on your local machine to do stuff, or copying files or whatever. So this is when we talk about servers. So, but you've got clients, which are protocol clients that connect to the servers. Okay, and then you've got so that's the middle bit, the wires, if you like, and then you've got MCP hosts like IDEs or other tools that need access to that data. Okay. So you can set up an MCP server yourself. There's a lot of these, what I've just mentioned, pre-built MCP servers. So there's a huge amount. There's also, as you'd expect, and I'm just giving one example. I was just looking at VS Code, and sure enough, there's an MCP client extension for that. So, and all of these things like Windsurf, the good old Codium Windsurf, Cursor AI, they've all got MCP server connections and protocols in there so that they can connect to local machines as well. Local machines. Connect to any of these MCP type things. They could be cloud hosted, they could be local, all the rest of it. So the idea is you've got it's an interesting thing because it's a bit like TCP. You've got transmission communication protocol. You've got a standard to talk network sort of stuff, and it's got many layers and all the rest of it. So MCP in some ways is similar, not quite the same, but they've got an open standard so that you can build your own MCP server to do a specific thing, like building almost a skill to do a specific thing, but that can be wired up to an AI, an LLM, so that when you and that's the point, it's exposing those interfaces to say, an MCP server or MCP server program has these standard things to communicate with. So you could do things like, I don't know, use my Docker desktop to go and, spin up a server and do something. Again, got to be careful with all of this. Of course you do. But it's like, you've got to use a bit of common sense, but it doesn't mean it's that weird phrase, isn't it? Throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Crikey, the Victorian age is back. So anyway, it's a really interesting thing. I'll put some links to there's a few of these MCP server URLs popping up all over the place. Check it out. Make sure that you are happy what it's doing, obviously. One that I'm trying out at the moment is there's an MCP server for PostgreSQL, which is quite interesting. So you can tie that into your LLM to do data analysis or, getting it to query data. So the idea is, instead of it coming back with just, this is how you do a query, it'll actually go and do that query. It'll actually do that action. It'll go and look up YouTube for you, things like that. So that's the key bit. And we've gone way over 6 minutes again. But that's what I've got this time around, MCP. There's a lot of it out there. It's a little bit confused, actually, when I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and it sort of didn't really explain some of the fundamentals, but that's okay. It's new, and everybody's clambering on to find out what this thing is. But yeah, I think it's just a way of connecting, AI LLMs to, and you can use this locally, by the way, things like Olama and stuff like that. So all of this that I've just been mentioning can run totally locally, that you've got control of. There are these cloud-based services, so if you need to take advantage of those, great. But anyway, that's what I've got. I'll stop talking for once and wish you a good day, a good week, and we will catch you on the next one.